from our past, because I'm hoping that at this point this semester we could all do this problem. But I don't want you to think about it in the easy 10 divided by 2 way. I want you to look at a pattern, because the deal is that math is built on patterns. I've told you guys this a lot, right? It's like a fundamental language that keeps growing as we learn more math, and they keep using those same patterns to develop other new patterns or new things. So let's look at this old one. We do know, I mean, I guess we can say 10 divided by 2. What's the answer going to be? 5, okay. But notice something. I could have taken that 2 and put it under each piece, couldn't I? I mean, wouldn't it be the same thing to say 6 divided by 2 and 4 divided by 2? Let's see, because 6 divided by 2 equals what? And 4 divided by 2 equals, So this observation is probably pretty powerful. If there's ever a time when I'm not able to say 6 plus 4 on top, because any person with common sense would have done that. We wouldn't have done this if you didn't have to. But if I'm ever not able to do that on top, this pattern using easy numbers might come in handy, where I can see that if I have one piece by itself on the bottom, I can share it to every piece on top. This is a pretty easy one. You'll like this one. So let me show you an example. Let's say you had, I'll use one from your text because it's a pretty easy one, and then I'll try to pick one a little more challenging. Let's say you had, for example, and again, the reason I tend to do some of the examples from both out of the text and make some up is because if you're reading your textbook, if you came across it and had any questions, you're getting to see me teach it to you out loud. That's a plus 4x. So on top, can I simplify? Can I put any pieces together on top? Because obviously that's the easiest choice if I could do that. Okay, I can't do that. But for simplifying, there is something else I can do. Notice on top that I have a plus and a minus, right? So it's not one of those problems. I don't want you to cross it with one of those problems like, 4x squared over 2x, where you can just cancel it, right, and get an x. Because here you have so many pieces, that 2x has to go into every piece. Since they're not just attached by multiply, you got to take it and share it through every single one. So let's do that. Let's take this and put it in every piece. So I'm just going to write it as 3 fractions. 16x to the 5th over top of 2x minus 8x cubed over 2x plus 4x over 2x. Now, if you can do this part in your head, I don't care. You don't have to show me this step, but I'm showing you because that way if you're ever in another class and somebody just talks through it real fast, you'll know what's happening in detail. Okay, now looking at this one, let's see. 16 divided by 2 gives me what? 8. And then which one's smaller, x to the 1st or x to the 5th? Okay, let's kill that one, take it away from that up there on top. So that's going to be 8 x to the what? 4th, okay? That's what we're getting from that piece. Next piece, we have an 8 divided by 2. That's a 4. And remember the minus there. We don't want to forget that. So we'll have a minus 4. With our x's, which one's smaller, x to the 1st or x to the cubed? So kill it, take it away from the top. That gives me x to the 2nd, okay, x squared. 4 divided by 2, what do I get? 2. Oh, my x's just cancel, don't they? Because of 1 minus a 1? Okay, so plus 2. Okay, good. Not too bad, right? I mean, this is actually this part of the division is really fun. It's a nice warm-up for how do you divide. Let's look at one more that's a little tougher, then I'm going to move on to the good stuff before I lose your mind, before you start getting bored with this. Okay. How about This is one of the you try it exercises, just FYI for your information. I had to stop for my technology. There we go. It's still similar to the other, but a little harder, not much. I mean, at this point, hopefully you can almost do it in your head. Can we try to do it in our minds together? Here. I'm going to go ahead and draw the arrows to remind you that because we have pluses and minuses, it's not just a one-time deal, okay? If it were just multiply on top, guys, you'd just take that into one piece, wouldn't you? You'd simplify the top and then just, like, take it up one time, but you wouldn't be redundant. You wouldn't put it into every piece if it were all attached already as one piece, would you? It's because you have three pieces separated with pluses and minuses. It has three islands on top, and you're sharing that piece on the bottom with each island. If it were just one mass on top, you wouldn't have to redo it. Just like that multiplication question where Brittany asked in class, do I multiply that 2 on the quiz to those pieces separately? And remember what I said? I said, no, it's all on one mass. It just goes in there one time. So on this, the reason you're sharing it individually is because it's like separate islands on top. Those pluses and minuses are what make that's what's making it like separate masses of whatever. So 2xy into the first piece. Let's just, you guys want to just talk through it, or you want to see it? See it. Some people are saying see it. Okay. I'll write it out and then we'll say it out loud. I guess I'm trying to iterate or to emphasize the fact that you don't have to write it like this every time if you can just do it in your mind. Oh well, I'll put the negative there. You have to be careful with the negatives. We don't want to lose them yet. Okay, so let's see. The first piece, 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. What kind of an x am I going to get on top? X to the, okay, and my y's are going to cancel, aren't they? Everybody with me? Second piece, 8 divided by 2. My x's, I get x to the first, good. And y to the first. Everyone following? I'll go back and rehash it in a second. Okay, then I have a negative. 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. And my x's cancel and my y's cancel? No. You got my y to the first. Oh, I didn't write the problem right. Okay. So I'm actually going to get y to the second? Okay, good. So again, it's because we divide those. Hold on, let me undo that. I want a different color. These are going to cancel to give me a 2. Then we have this cancels and says minus 1. Our y's cancel. 8 and the 2 cancel to give me a 4. That gives me the x to the first. That gives me the y to the first. That gives me a 2. Cancels. Right? I know I didn't talk through it, but hopefully if you weren't getting it, you've seen every single step very well. If not, let me know. Yell at me anytime. Good. I'm going to do that so people who get the notes off the internet won't have lines through the notes. Okay. That's mainly it for the easy division. I mean, if you have one piece on the bottom, don't stress out. You'll see it all through your